Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite, or Mike. I'm Michael Cole with Tony Schiavone and with Taz. And today on Dynamite or Mike, we have a good show, here today on, Dynamite or Mike. Yesterday on NXT, we saw John Cena and Miko Sanatino War have a fight where John Cena beat Miko Sanatini. And even though John Cena and Cody Rhodes will fight it in your bedroom coming up soon, um, we all do know that John Cena has started wars not only with Miko Sanatini but with King Kong as well. You got that right, Tony Schiavone says. John Cena, ever since shifting heel for a two-diff time, has made many foes. Cody Rhodes, King Kong, Miko Sanatini, and many other folks are now on John Cena's foe list. You know what I could tell you right now, Taz says, Michael and Tony? I do onlook John Cena. You know, it took him 23 years to learn that sometimes being good, sometimes being the baby leader, doesn't always work. Ask me. I spent most of my time in ICCW, in ECW, and mostly in WWF, WWE, and in TNA and IW and AEW playing the heel. Yes, you have played the heel mostly all those, Tony Schiavone says. And mostly, a lot of folks and you can't say you did play the heel and your runs and all of those businesses, Taz. I will give you that. But you can't say it's right for John Cena doing all the things that he is doing. What he did to Cody Rhodes, Miko Sanatini, and the King Kong, Tony Schiavone says. I'll tell you one thing right now, Michael Cole says. You know what? John Cena has forgotten that if it wasn't for all those folks who bought his dolls and his caps and his shirts and the DVD and the discs, and didn't go to see all those films he was in, and didn't go to all those live shows and house shows and Farcio shows and yield shows that he was wrestling in, he wouldn't have had all the gals to live the life that he is living now. So shame on John Cena for forgetting all of that, Michael Cole says. Well, tell me this, Taz says. What makes you think that John Cena forgotten where he came from? You know, he wanted to get on for those 23 years, the WWE followership, the TWF followership as well, didn't want to give it to him. So John Cena had to take what some folks would say the law into his own hands. Well, I wouldn't say the law into his own hands, but John Cena did have to do something, to shift what was going on. Shit. Come on. Well, or forgive us for having a little bind getting the ring and the walkway down. There we go. And now here comes someone who knows nothing. Here comes someone now, Michael Cole says, that knows nothing about onlook, who knows nothing about class, talks about how he wants onlook in class and skilled wrestling, but doesn't want to give any. That, Tony Schiavone says, Gunther or Gunther, whatever you want to call him, the ringleader, who believes that everyone should onlook him, and doesn't think he should have to give any onlook to anyone else. You got a thought on that, Taz? Oh, I'll give you my thought on it, Taz. Says you won't like it, but I'll give my thought on it. First off, Gunther says, it's about time that I get back a strap that I should have never lost to begin with. I should have never lost the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. So, Rainbow Bright, Wisp, whatever you're calling yourself, I want you to come out here now and give me back my strap that I should have never lost to you. It's bad enough. Well, Gunther, you want me to give your strap back to you? Well, why don't I do that? Why don't I just give back the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings back to you, Gunther? Because I have a strap that was entrusted to me by God Almighty and Jesus the Son, and that would be the cast strap. So here, you can have the Pennsylvania Reich winnings back if it means so much to you, Gunther. See? Even Rainbow Bright knows that she can't win a war against a ring fighter. It doesn't that she can't win a war against a ring fighter, Michael Cole says. She just happens to be the cast bringer, the light bringer, and doesn't have time and has one strap that is worth having, Michael Cole says. Yeah, Tony Schiavone says. That's why Rainbow Bright gave it up. But I could tell you one thing right now. You know, Taz says Rainbow Bright was wise. I just wish Cody Rhodes was wise and gave up his strap to John Cena. That's what I hope for. And now, since I am now a 3-time TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter, I will have to lose to me. Ha ha. So, Belasca, you think that you can stand up to me, the ring fighter? You can't even stand up in the ring. You're right, Gunther. I can't stand up in the ring without a stand. But I think I am woman enough to beat you. You see, you may have gotten the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings back for a 3rd time with not having a fight, with not having a match. But you know what? That isn't going to stand, because I'm going to beat you, Gunther, or Gunther, however you want to say that German English name. And you know what? You can feel how it is to be beaten again. Only this time, when I beat you, you'll know that it happened, you know, you lost to a greater wrestler, a greater fighter. Yeah, I'm down with that, Gunther. And the TWF oversight team will see you, Gunther, as the 3-time TWF we'll see you as the 2-time TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter. However, you will be putting that strap on stake here today against Belasca. Who cares? At least Belasca will put up more of a fight than that hard-marked Deep South Rainbow Bright was. Yeah, I will put up a more of a fight because I'm not entrusted with the world's cast and light and brightness like Rainbow Bright is. Alright, Gunther, your match against Belasca is now. Well, we can see that Gunther thought that he wasn't going to be having to put his strap on stake, you know, here today, here today on Dynamite or Mike. And now the fight woman is now in the ring now. This match is for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. First, she is Belasca, and he is the TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter, Gunther. Ding. Now, a lot of folks out there might wonder how Gunther just took down Belasca. A Gunther, a body slam on Belasca, Michael Cole says. Yeah, well, Belasca is a former two-time TWF heavyweight fighter, as well as being a former two-time TWF tag team fighter, a sundriest time TWF hard middle fighter. That's right. And Belasca is not doing so well right now, Tony Chevalier said. That's right, Taz says. When I first came into the TWF in 20 OYL from being bought from big lots, back in 20 OYL, the first one I fought was Belasca. And just to think, we're both here years later, Taz says. But Belasca doesn't got no luck in hell beating Gunther, just like she couldn't beat me all those years ago. Well, Belasca is, getting beat up right now by Gunther, but Belasca rolled Gunther and slammed him down, Michael Cole says. And Belasca is hoping to become the new TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter. And hoping to beat Gunther, here today on Dynamite or Mike, Michael Cole says. Belasca's now going to give Gunther what some would call the sit-up mic bomb. Didn't really look that very well. And now Belasca did the thunder gun ball, knocking down Gunther. Michael Cole says. Well, Tony Chevalier says, Belasca is always offshooted from Kevin Owens, or Kevin Owens offshooted from Belasca. It's hard to tell what, Tony Chevalier says. Oh, and a stunner. And Belasca has done all of those things. One, two, and only a kick out. Belasca can only get two out of that. And now Belasca, believing that she should be the TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter, Michael Cole says. And now Gunther getting back up now. If it was wrestling from the lorry, they would be doing all these hits on sheets, and they would say, oh, Gunther's a 10, Gunther could be an A, he could be a Jack, or he could be a Queen. He could be a king. He could be in one of those highly ranked sheets. But Taz says, and now Gunther is now got Belasca and just mic slammed her. And now Gunther is now putting Belasca out, Michael Cole says. Yeah, Tony Chevalier said Gunther is putting Belasca out in that sleeper, kind of like what you did back in the day, Taz says. Well, mine was more like a choke, Taz says, and not a sleeper. But Gunther has beat many a wrestler the same way I have, Taz says. And Belasca is going to lose to Gunther here today. Will Belasca be skilled enough to get out? No, it's not happening. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, and still the TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter, Belasca. Here's your winner, and still the TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter, Gunther. And Gunther is still the TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter by beating Belasca here today on Dynamite or Mike. Well, however, Michael Cole says Gunther might have to worry about who he's going to be wrestling and who he's going to be fighting next for his beloved TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. Michael Cole says, yeah, Tony Chevalier said Gunther sees himself as God's gift to skilled wrestling. And sees himself as the greatest skilled wrestler to ever wrestle or ever fight. But that's more of his belief. I could tell you one thing right now, Taz says. Gunther beat Belasca, And we know Belasca is a no lean over. We know how strong, how tough, and how mighty Belasca is, you know. But it just wasn't enough, and Goomfer beat her here today on Dynamite or Mike. Alright, we're going to take it away now to Gene Okerlund. Thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Belasca, the so-called goddess of madness, here today on Dynamite or Mike. Alright, Belasca, we seen you out there. You dared Goomfer for the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings. However, you did not win them. No, I did not win it, Gene Okerlund. And you know what? Goomfer or Gumfer can go around. He can call himself the ring fighter, the ring leader, whatever he wants to call himself. I don't care. But you know, the man believes in his mind that he's the world's greatest wrestler, greatest fighter, whatever. And that's his belief. But he goes around, talks about onlooking class, but doesn't want to give any onlooker class. That's right. Goomfer likes to talk about onlooking class in skilled wrestling, but doesn't want to give anyone in skilled wrestling onlooker class back. You know. And I gotta tell you something. If Goomfer believes in his mind that I'm gonna give up, that I'm not going to come back from this, he's got another guest coming. Now, he's got a bind with Jason Uso in WWE over the World Heavyweight winnings come Wrestle Madness. Alright? He's got enough worries. Because if he is thinking, well, only if he thinks losing the World Heavyweight winnings to Jason Uso is bad, mine see when it loses the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings to me. So you're telling me that you're not going to give up and you're going to keep on coming after Cooper. That's right, Gene Okerlund. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep on coming after Goomfer until I win the TWF Pennsylvania Reich winnings back from Goomfer. Well, good luck with that, Belasca. You know, good luck with that. And hopefully that goal happens one day. Hopefully you do beat Cooper one day. And you become the TWF Pennsylvania Reich fighter. Thank you, Gene Okerlund. Well, that's my talk. Okay, why is it? Well, that's my talk with Belasca. Back to you, Michael Cole and Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Gene Okerlund, for talking with Belasca here today on Dynamite or Mike. And it is all the time we got here for Dynamite or Mike. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone and Taz. We hope you like Dynamite or Mike. And we'll see you tomorrow for Impact or Hit.